Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be using this air dry clay kit that I got from my local Officeworks, and we're going to see how well it does. Now it says on the container here that we have 15 assorted colors, and it's not really too in-depth on the instructions. It just says the clay will dry in open air within 24 hours, but may vary depending on the project size. Store unused clay back in the container. I think this kind of thing is mainly made for children, especially looking at the pictures on the container, but we're gonna see if I can make some cute little sculptures with this and see if it is actually any good. So here is the container, and as you can see, it is a pretty good size. One thing I noticed straight away when I picked this up was that it is extremely light, especially for the clay amount that you get. These little bags of clay here, they remind me of little pillows, and they actually kind of look like little pillows as well. I kind of think it's a bit cute. There are so many colors and different packets in this little set, so let's get them all out and see what we're working with. Here is a close-up of some of the packets, and as you can see, it's almost like there's lots of little tiny bubbles inside of this, which is really interesting because I've never really seen bubbly clay before, so I feel like this is going to be pretty interesting to work with. So I have a pretty good idea of what I want to work with first, so I actually have to pick out my colors. Now there are quite a few different pinks here, and I ended up deciding on the medium sort of mid-tone pink, and we are also using some white and some black as well. Now I actually bought some new tools for this project because I felt like I could do with some more sculpting tools. So we have this polymer clay roller here, and we also have some of these acrylic blocks. Now these blocks are actually made for stamping, but I have seen quite a few people actually use them to press down on clay and flatten it out and that kind of thing, and it can be quite useful. So first impressions on this clay, it is so strange. I've never felt a clay like this. It is extremely light and very, very stretchy. It kind of makes me think of like marshmallows. It's very airy and quite stretchy, and yeah, marshmallows pretty much. Note to self, do not eat this. It probably won't taste as good as you think it is. So for my first creation, I have rolled out a nice little ball of pink clay, as you can see. Now I'm cutting out a strange shape. It's almost like a circle with a bunch of diamonds connected to the edges. Now I'm just connecting this to the bottom of the circle, and I am rolling it out so that it sits nice and flat. After this, I'm flattening out another bit of white clay, and we're just going to cut some tiny little shapes to add on the edges in between the two colors. Now using my handy dandy acrylic block, I'm rolling out a few snake shapes, and as you can see, this works super well to get a nice uniform snake. And I'm just making a few of these shapes to stick onto the top of the weird circle thing. After this, I am getting some little round pieces of clay and adding them to the edges of the long snaky things. After this, I'm rolling out another snake, but with some white, and I'm cutting it into 4 short pieces, which I am going to add to the bottom for the feet. And after this, it is time to add a little face on this guy. Using my acrylic block, I just squished out 2 black circles, and then did the same thing for smaller white circles and laid them on the top to look like eyes. After this, I roll a really thin tiny snake, and then I put it on for the mouth using the tweezers and scissors. And here we go, we have this little baby Corsola. Isn't it so cute? I actually really like the way this turned out. It is a little bit cracked here and there, and the skin isn't exactly even, so let's see if we can do better next. So for my next one, I have some red here. I also have some yellow, brown, white, and green. And after I grab all of the red that I need and try and roll it into a ball, did you see how stretchy it was at the start there? I'm rolling it into a ball and adding a little indent at the top here to make it look like an apple. After this, I am mixing a light beigey brown color using a bit of brown, white, and yellow, and we are going to flatten it out into a circle shape, and then we're gonna like sculpt in some little pointy edges here and there to make it a bit of a star, and then we're going to push it onto the bottom of this sort of ball thing, just like we did last time. After this, I'm making 2 green teardrop shapes and I'm flattening them out nicely and neatly. And I'm also making a snake with a sort of more desaturated darker green along with a lighter green. Now I'm connecting these together and I'm going to roll them again to get a sort of multicolored snake that is lighter on the top and darker on the bottom. We're going to stick this to the back of the apple shape, and then we're going to get those teardrops from earlier and we're going to connect them together and stick them in the top of the apple. Some of you might know what this is already, but we have to add in some eyes now for this little guy. And at first I did green for the inside and then I changed that to white because I felt like it just looked a little bit weird. After this, I just need to stick 2 tiny little hairs to the wormy part at the back and add a little bit of detail between the eyes, and this little guy is done. I love Applin. I think he is so cute and simple and just a really nice design. So next up, I want to mix a nice warm brown color. So we have some brown, some white here, and a little bit of yellow as well. And we're just mixing this together, and I've used a good amount because this is going to be the base color of my next creation. I've rolled out a snake and then flattened it and chopped off the ends to add as one of the ears, and the other ear is pretty much a flattened circle. Now we're going to make the torso and the arms, and that is pretty much just a little ball that's been flattened and 2 flattened snakes for the arms. Pretty simple, really. After this, it is time to add some little details. So I'm starting off with really tiny eyebrows, just a little bit of yellow mixed with a bit of that brown, and then we're going to use some black and white for the cute little eyes. Little button nose is added, and now we're just using some really thin snake shapes to add in the little mouth. Now is the time to add some cuteness into this little bunny. We're going to be using some pink clay to add some little fluffy ball parts in the belly area and on top of the ears, as well as for the feet. Now this guy's really special. He is a super rare shiny Baneri, and I love this little guy. I just think he's so cute, and I just love the color combination. Now my next creation is the most detailed one yet. We are going to be doing a few different colors in this. We are using some blue as well as some yellow, orange, gray, light blue, yellow, brown. So starting off with a ball, and then we're going to be adding a tail and some bird wings, as you can see here. Now we're just grabbing some gray and we're just using that for a little bit of fluffy plumage at the chest area. Now we're just making some extra grey feathers to stick up the back, and then we are going back into the blue. We are creating a long skinny neck with a small head and some extra feathers at the base. After this, it is time to move on to yet another section of this because this one is quite detailed. I pretty much am making a Pikachu here, but it's not complete. This Pikachu is a bit without a face, but that's okay because you're not going to be seeing the face where this Pikachu is going. So after this, I made a beak, as you can see, and we just put Pikachu right inside that beak, and we are connecting the beak to the rest of the bird. Now I know this beak didn't turn out quite perfectly. Actually, it does look a bit bad. I just couldn't get the shape right, and then it was just way too big, and the clay was drying quite quickly, so it didn't turn out as nice looking as the others. But I really like this guy, and I just think it's really funny. Now I knew for sure this guy wouldn't be able to stand up, so I made him a little base with a little bit of a water pattern here with some wire inside, and that's going to support this little Cramorant with a Pikachu in its mouth. He's not perfect, you know, I did try. You can tell what it is though. Now I was going to actually stop there, but the thing is I just didn't like the way that the Cramorant turned out too much, and I just wanted to end it on a bit of a happier note and just a little bit, you know, something nicer, a little bit less lumpy. So I am making yet another little guy, and we are starting off with a circle with some teardrop shapes. I connected that to the side of the head, and then I made a torso pretty much the same way as the last bunny, and then I connected it to the head using a snake of red clay. After this, I made a few more snakes. I made a red one, a small orange one, and then a really thick white one, and then this is what I used to cut out the ears for this guy. Now just a bit of cleanup with some scissors, and I am adding a little extra tuft of fur to one of the ears, and then we are connecting it to the head. Now you may recognize this little character. I have actually made a Funko of him quite a while ago, so I'll leave the link for that in the description if you're interested. Now we just need a few details for the face, namely the eyes, and I used 3 different circles for those eyes. As you can see, a large black and then a small red and white. And after this, it is time to add a cute little bunny mouth, and he is almost done. All we have to do is give him some feet. As you can see, I'm rolling out some multicolored snakes and molding them into little feet shapes with some little toes. And I'm actually using some clay with a little bit of wire inside because he does have quite skinny legs. And I'm giving him a base as well just to make sure that he can stand up. And here he is, isn't he cute? So here's the final results for this video, and this clay is quite interesting. It's not like anything I have ever tried before. It's nothing like polymer clay. It is quite spongy when dry, and it almost feels like a foam, which is quite strange. But I enjoyed making these little guys, and I hope you enjoyed watching this video too. So if you did enjoy, please hit that like button and comment below. It really helps me out so much with this whole YouTube algorithm thingy. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and introduce yourself in the comments below. I love meeting new people. I hope you're having a lovely day, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye everyone.